Stadsfries or Stadfries is a set of dialects spoken in certain cities in the province of Friesland in the northern Netherlands, namely Leeuwarden, Sneek, Bolsward, Franeker, Dokkum, Harlingen, Stavoren, and to some extent in Heerenveen. For linguistic reasons, the outlying and insular dialects of Midsland, Ameland, Het Bildt, and Kollum are also sometimes tied to Stadsfries. The vocabulary of Stadsfries is derived primarily from Dutch. The dialects began in the late 15th century, when Frisia lost its political independence to the Netherlands. For many living in Frisia, learning Dutch became a necessity. The result was a mixture of Hollandic dialect vocabulary and West Frisian grammar and other language principles. Since this process began, the West Frisian language itself has evolved, such that Stadsfries is further away from modern Frisian than it is from Old Frisian. Arends al. state that Stadsfries is a Frisian-Dutch mixed language. The name of the dialect group, Stadsfries, is not an endonym but is instead the Dutch term for the language. Stad is a Germanic term for city or town, seen in English place names such as Hempstead. In Stadsfries, the term for the dialect group is Stadfries or Stads, or each dialect is known simply by a name derived from the particular city name, such as Leeuwarden for the dialect of Leeuwarden. In West Frisian, the dialects are known as Steddisk, which does not indicate the idea that Stadsfries is a form of Frisian. To indicate this difference, one can call Frisian proper Boerenfries. Vocabulary. The vocabulary of Stadsfries is mainly Dutch, though the West Frisian language influence is notable. Furthermore, a set of word forms are used that are clearly Frisian, not Dutch. Examples. The language also has typical West Frisian words that don't exist in Dutch. Usually this concerns domestic words and words from the mainly Frisian language agricultural sector. Examples. Other differences between Dutch and West Frisian can be traced back to the Dutch dialect of the 16th century. Example. Finally, several words have survived in the Stadsfries language due to Dutch influence that have since disappeared from the West Frisian language. Examples. Grammar. Stadsfries phonology deviates from Dutch in the absence of the voice sounds v and z at the beginning of words. Dutch words like this often have an equivalent Stadsfrisian translation that instead starts with the unvoiced sounds f and per second. The Dutch sound sequence sx does not exist in Stadsfries but is often replaced with sk. Stadsfries has these properties in common with West Frisian, as well as several Dutch dialects. The plurals match Frisian, as do the diminutives, except those in Stavoren, where Holland's rules are followed. The verbs are missing two Frisian weak classes, but use Frisian rules for forming past participles. They never get the affix ge. Stadsfrisian kept the Frisian pronouns do, jo and jim, although do and jo are almost always written as dou and jou. These words can in fact be used as criteria for deciding whether a Hollandic Frisian mixed dialect can still be considered Stadsfries. The Dutch dialect called West Frisian, spoken in the West Friesland region of North Holland for example, does not have these words and is therefore considered Hollandic. Spelling. There is no standardized, officially recognized spelling for Stadsfries. The very few authors that write in it each use their own spelling conventions. The most commonly used spelling is that in the word boek van uit Leeuwarden. This spelling convention is closely related to, but more phonetic than West Frisian, and does not use the letter U. Speakers. The use of Stadfries is declining rapidly, especially in Leeuwarden. No more than a quarter of the city's population speaks the language, although the percentage is higher in smaller towns. In the first half of the 20th century, the town of Heerenveen had a local variant of Stadfries known as Fries, spoken especially around Oranjewoud, near the country home of the Frisian Stadhouder. Use of most dialects is declining, but because West Frisian is considered prestigious and even recognized as a Dutch national language, Stadfries has become a sociolect to the lower classes, especially in the cities. The transition from dialect to sociolect happened primarily in the 20th century. Around 1900, the Stadfries dialects were still considered regional variants of Dutch and given a much higher status than Frisian. With the rise of Standard Dutch in society's upper classes brought on particularly by education and mass media, Stadfries stopped being considered a variant of Dutch. Since the lower classes had less exposure to Standard Dutch, they remained as some of the only speakers of Stadfries.